After the Dawn of Eve and Twilight of Adam control groups collide, the WILDS Season 2 finishes on another big cliffhanger. The young adult survival show's first season followed a group of 8 teenage females who were fighting for their lives after a plane disaster. After their assumed rescue, Lee, Sarah Pidgeon, and the other women were interrogated on the WILDS, but Lee finds in the Season 1 finale that there is much more going on. Her discovery of a male control group who was also being watched validated her suspicions that their time on the island had been pre-planned and set the stage for the WILDS Season 2 to go even deeper into what really happened. The tale is told in one of 4 ways for the majority of the WILDS Season 2, showing the ladies' time on the island, showing the guys' time on the island, displaying flashbacks to the male's origins, and showing the interrogations that take place in the current day after both groups have been saved. What happened to the girls on the island after Rachel was attacked by a shark is depicted in the section of the story dedicated to them. The WILDS Season 2 sees the gang coming to terms with Nora's loss, Fatin taking on more of a leadership position, and Shelby and Tony's romantic relationship progressing. Because the first season of the WILDS was solely focused on the females, the Twilight of Adam control group receives a lot of screen time in the second season's 8 episodes. The boys endure numerous obstacles as a result of their uncommon mix of personalities, backgrounds, and egos. They are put to the test by a hungry jaguar and split within the group caused by an act of sexual assault by their unofficial leader, Seth, on top of the normal hardships of surviving on an isolated island. Because he was also a confederate of Dr. Gretchen Klein, Rachel Griffiths, the situation for the WILDS Season 2's new control group becomes even more complicated. The guys are kept in the dark about their crash landing and rescue until Lee's scheme in the present day leads to a mass breakout, only for everyone to learn their island exploits are far from done. As a result, the WILDS Season 2 finale provides even more major surprises as it sets the stage for Season 3. After discovering about the Twilight of Adam organization, Lee makes daring measures in the current day right from the start of the WILDS Season 2. This begins by infiltrating one of their rooms, which turns out to be Raf's. However, Lee is astute enough to recognize that they are constantly being observed and takes advantage of the situation to begin working for Gretchen Klein's secret organization. What she didn't realize was that Lee, played by Sarah Pidgeon from Gotham, was getting continuous aid from Gretchen's 2 investigators in her quest to uncover the truth about what was actually going on. This allows Lee to reclaim her phone for a single 45-second call, which she can utilize to disrupt the covert operation. When it comes to who Lee will call, she takes a different approach than she did on the island. Lee contacts her best friend Ian, James Frazier, from Season 1 of the WILDS, informing him that she is still alive, that Dawn of Eve is responsible for her abduction, and that the organization is holding her, 6 other ladies, and 6 guys as test subjects in a peculiar social experiment. Ian is able to trace Dawn of Eve's roots to an apartment where Gretchen's son lives. He sends Ian information in order to exact vengeance on his mother for briefly putting him in the male control group. In the WILDS Season 2 finale, Ian took the information and evidence he acquired to the relevant authorities, proving Lee's strategy was mostly successful. However, Lee's approach did not completely undo Gretchen's efforts. After receiving a call regarding what Lee has done, Gretchen sets up Phase 3 of her goal during the WILDS Season 2 finale. The power to the island base is cut, which opens all of the rooms. This allows Lee to leave her room, wondering if this is the outcome of her call and the long-awaited rescue of everyone. Before she meets Fatin, she runs into 2 of the guys, Henry, former Hawaii Five-0 actor Aidan Lapreet, and Kieran, Charles Alexander. All of the guys and girls gather in a room Gretchen has set up, but she is not present. Gretchen's social experiment is now in its 3rd phase. Phase 1 involved the girls and boys surviving on the islands, while Phase 2 involved the subsequent interrogations. The tale of the WILDS Season 3 is being set up by the lads and girls coming together for Phase 3. Season 2 of the WILDS closes with the Dawn of Eve and Twilight of Adam power groups unified, and Lee immediately begins her quest for Gretchen's whereabouts. This leads her and the other kids to learn that Gretchen and the rest of the program's members have abandoned the island headquarters and destroyed the majority of the proof of what happened. To make matters worse, the young adults discover they have been shipwrecked on a completely new island. Gretchen's Phase 3 plan beyond the WILDS Season 2 is all about observing what happens after they are together, after testing females and boys apart. As the group gets to know their new area, resources, problems, and more, new relationships will emerge, both good and terrible. Meanwhile, Seth appears to be in charge of the island, while continuing to serve Gretchen as a Confederate, but he isn't alone. Shelby could be Gretchen's newest Confederate, according to one of the biggest Season 3 teases revealed during the WILDS Season 2 finale. Gretchen is asked on her plane how she'd let this go on without any actual supervision over the kids as the newly created boy and girl control group continues to explore what remains of Dawn of Eve's island stronghold. Despite the fact that much of the monitoring equipment was destroyed, Gretchen indicates that she has insiders. Nora, Helena Howard, and Seth were both discovered to be reporting to Gretchen at the start of the experiment, therefore she has chevaliers. Shelby is shown on the screen when Gretchen's recent help is mentioned in the WILDS Season 2, which is one of a few possible clues that she has turned into Gretchen's Confederate. Shelby's path in Season 2 of the WILDS makes her probable Confederate twist for Season 3 of the WILDS a lot more sense. Tony and her relationship grew in many areas, but they had a hard patch immediately before the girls were rescued by a helicopter. Tony holds Shelby responsible for Martha's toxic state during their final days, so Shelby makes it her goal to safely return everyone home. Gretchen may influence Shelby into becoming a Confederate in order to ensure Tony and Martha, Jenna Claus, make it home safely if she now assists in providing information on Phase 3's activities. Shelby becoming a Confederate could also explain her Matrix-like dream at the start of Season 2 of the WILDS. Shelby's possible future is demonstrated when she sings a song about Martha while Tony is present. Gretchen, dressed as Morpheus, approaches her backstage and hands her red and blue candies. It's an oddly precise dream for her to have, and it might turn into a nightmare since Shelby may now have to lie to everyone around her, including Tony and Martha, in order to arrange their rescue from the island. At the end of Season 2, the WILDS ensemble cast has finally come together. Lee leads the group to the top of the island base, where the 13 young adults are reunited in the finale. These 13 youngsters are not alone on the spanking new island, as Seth has been verified to be present and to have received some additional power from Gretchen. Gretchen, her son Devin, psychotherapist Daniel Faber, and assistant Alex are all aboard a private plane, according to the Season 2 conclusion of the WILDS. They appear to be escaping to an unknown location in order to avoid any difficulty that may arise as a result of Lee's phone call, but their exact position is unknown. After betraying Gretchen, FBI agent Dean Young is sent home to live with his daughter, who blackmails him into not speaking up. Susan, Tom, and Audrey, Gretchen's assistants, may still be at the Dawn of Eve offices. Ian was most recently seen meeting with the FBI. What happened to Nora is one of the greatest unanswered questions following the conclusion of the WILDS Season 2. Season 2 confirms that she lived through her apparent death in the Season 1 finale and Season 2 premiere, and that she did not die defending Rachel from a shark attack. After having a traditional funeral for her sister, Nora is last seen in the WILDS Season 1, Episode 5 observing Rachel on the monitors. It's time, Audrey informs Nora at this point. It's likely that Nora has been relocated or given the opportunity to start a new life where she must forget about these occurrences, which would explain why she's emotional while watching Rachel. There's also a chance Gretchen is preparing to reintroduce Nora to the pandemonium and relocate her to the new island. This would allow her to rejoin with Rachel while also complicating Lee, Fatten, and Shelby's awareness of Nora's previous secrets. If it happens, Season 3 of the WILDS will be much more intriguing.